All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the TNEC cast. It is your boy Shuff with the Weapon K, episode 4. Uh, I can't believe we were talking a little bit during our prep. I can't believe we've already hit episode 4. And again, we want to thank everybody that's been tuning in. The feedback has been great, and we're just gonna keep having these conversations and keep bringing up topics that you guys give us, and B, that'll make you think. That's our
Yes,
big thing. We
sir.
want to make you guys think, make you guys talk. So, Mr. Cooper, what,
What
what you
up?
got for us today, brother?
All right, episode 4. It's gonna be a good one, man. I'm excited for this one. Again, I'm just pumped up for these podcasts. This is the highlight of my weekend, yo. The gyms are closed because the Texas weather. It's crazy outside,
Ugh, I thought I left this in Jersey.
and people don't know how to act. They get a little bit of ice and they just lose their fucking mind. Anyway, so we're gonna go over Isaac's prep because he just stepped in prep last Monday. So we're excited for that one. We're also going to answer a question that we received, the mindset for going back into prep, as well as a little question at the end just for Isaac. All right. So you ready for this? Hey, this is perfect audio for cardio, don't you think?
Yes, man. Hey, look, one of the things that we talked about, and because there's a lot of people that want to tap in with us, and they're worried about hey, if you're in prep or whatever you do, you should be doing at least 30 minutes of cardio. So this is a good something to listen to, give you something to think about, take your mind off of the treadmill or the stairmill or whatever,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever you're doing. And speaking of those two things, one other thing that we're going to touch on today, we're going to talk about how you can't outtrain a bad diet.
Ooh.
So don't think just because you had that McDonald's you can go on the stairs and you'll be all right.
You ain't Ocho Cinco, baby. All right, let's talk about your prep, man. Let's hear it. What's been
All
going
right.
on? What's your cardio at? Because I know you've been putting in miles every day since you came out the womb. So how's it going with that?
So prep is going pretty well. I'm at the point where meals are already disrespectful. So what that means to the people that have never been through a prep before, it means basically we eat, and we don't get me wrong, we eat. We actually eat a lot, but we're at a point where we're just fueling ourselves with what we need. That's it. Not a little bit more, not a little bit less. So about 30 seconds after you're done eating, you're hungry again. And I'm not just talking about, oh man, one more bite would be nice. I'm talking about you want a full blown Thanksgiving dinner. You're starving. But so I'm at that point. All right. So it's been about a weekend. Already went through prep fog. And for those that have never been through prep, the best way to describe it is we call it the prep fog, because you can't really put a name on it, words on it, because it's a feeling. I always say you can't tell if you're coming or going. You can't really focus. Everything is cloudy and foggy. So coming in 15 pounds lighter than I did, because my last two preps, both I was a little bit over 190. This time I came in at 176.
Jesus.
Yeah. So but the dope thing is, if you look at when you compare the pictures, same muscle density, same size, just less, just way less fat. So, but yeah, so I knew there was going to be a difference in how I was going to feel since I was coming in lighter. So that prep fog hit me day one. And I always warn people. I usually say it takes 7 to 10 days, because my first time it took me about 7 days, and I think it was because I had so much glycogen and so much fat stored. I wasn't coming in with that much, so my body got rid of it quickly and was like, "Hey, we're prep, fog time." So it hit me for about 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, and then I've been cruising. So another thing I was doing this prep. So first prep, I only ran on the weekends. Second prep, I only ran on the weekends for the first half, and then after that, running was my predominant form of cardio. Completely changed my physique, changed prep, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. So this prep was going to be all running, and Texas, for whatever reason, has decided to act like it's not Texas, and it's been not just Texas cold, but actual cold here. So I only got to run, I think it was this Monday and Tuesday. So then I've been putting 30 minutes in on the stair mill right now. first 2 weeks, the way I do things, and a lot of our teammates, they'll kind of see the same pattern. First 2 weeks is scripted, and then we start making the adjustments. It's kind of like in a football where, they'll say, hey, we're going to call the first 15 plays or the first 10 plays like this. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we start adjusting, because like basically it's about seeing how your body's going to react. So yeah, but no, prep has been good. And some of the things I'm talking about in this go into some of the topics that we're going to go over. But yeah, man, it's been good. I'm excited. I need to be ready for a very long season with a lot of shows, and everything like that. And it kind of crescendos in October. I have a lot going on in October, but all I can say is I'm really, 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 really excited for this year, because as the leader of the team, I get to set the tone for a lot of great things that are going to happen. We have a lot of people that are going to win pro cards this year. A lot of people are going to win pro shows this year. And it's going to be fun, to really, as the leader, to kind of be out in front of that and say, come on, guys, let's go do this, Cause sometimes, like sometimes with Wolves, the leader leads from the back. But with this, I get to lead from the front, so it's good. So, yeah, I'm excited. It was weird. I'll say this, and then we can move on unless you want to ask me something. It was weird because as most people know, I work out in the dungeon, aka my garage, and it's been too cold. It's just been too cold. And now here's the thing: if I had no other option, like tomorrow, since most of the gyms are probably going to be closed, I'll be bundled up working out in there. But I went back to the regular gym, and that was weird, because I haven't worked out in a regular gym since April maybe.
Why? So what is that? The virus, or
when everything closed down. I started seeing what was going on, so I bought up gym equipment, built the dungeon, and then, I'm just gonna be very honest. I like working out by myself and not around anybody, and just focused in. I don't have to have headphones on, so I have my music up. It's a different energy, because I'm somebody that I'm all my stuff is internal.
Yeah.
External stuff, it's just annoying. Like, that's why I kind of like being in there with a mask, so nobody would come and talk to me.
Disrespectful, dog. Back in the spot now.
So, cause be in there, but then, the other thing is, I can get a lot more done, because, for example, like when I'm setting up a workout for somebody, whether it's supersets and changing, equipment, different things, I have to take into account, that piece of equipment might not be available, so they got to work out 1, 2, 3 right here, and then move to the different section, things like that. When I'm in there, I don't gotta worry about it.
Yeah,
I don't gotta worry about waiting for a machine, waiting for something. I don't gotta worry about, Now, obviously, I make some sacrifices because certain things I just don't have. But at the end of the day, we know this as true grinders. You just give me a couple of dumbbells, and I got having a squat rack was the biggest thing, because now I can do everything. Pull ups, overhead, bent, squat, everything. But we'll make it work. So I do think I am going to incorporate going to the regular gym some days, but it's still going to be basically here.
So you touched on something with cardio, right? Because I usually just like walk on an incline or Stairmax. You said running actually changed your physique. How so? Like, what changes did it actually have? You got leaner faster? Did your legs, get more striated? Like, what happened?
So I came in a lot tighter than I did the year before. The year before, because I didn't get any, hey, you need to go to bodybuilding like I did the year before. Because the year before, because I remember you called me the tank, because I was holding all that. I was holding all that size up top, and while I still held the size and brought some things up, running really just tightened my physique up, because and then also it allowed me to be able to eat a little bit more, because as we know, I don't jog, I run.
Yeah. So it's a difference.
So I'm out there like really, really, really putting it in. But that was the biggest thing I noticed. It really tightened me up. It really, really tightened me up, because I'm a big believer in intensity over time. So there's a lot of different ways to do cardio. As you talk about, walk, because that's when I'm at the point of prep where I'm doing the second cardio. My second cardio is always a walk with my sweat belt.
Okay, cool.
That's what it always is for about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But my thing is, because a lot of people get caught up in the whole, I need to do cardio for an hour, 2 hours, da 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 da. I'm like, if you did that, something's wrong with your nutrition. You shouldn't need to do that. You shouldn't need, if you want to, that's a different story. But you shouldn't need to do that much cardio. It's like if you up the intensity, calories burned is calories burned from a technical standpoint. So for me, I'm trying to see. That's why I came in lighter. I'm trying to see if I can keep my cardio and not have to go over 45 minutes. If I can do that, and at any point I have to go over 45 minutes, I've done what I've set out to do. And I mean, obviously, I'm ready. If I got to do more, I got to do more. But yeah, that running just really tightened me up. Like I noticed a huge difference because like even in the last prep, I was getting worried. I was like, because I remember I went to, shout out to Darius Indonesia, went to their show to coach them. It was beginning of August, and so I was 3 weeks out, and I was not happy with the way I looked. I was getting quietly, I was very nervous. I mean, very nervous.
Well,
I was like,
just because you saw the physiques on stage, and you was just like, I am so far away.
That might have played a role in the back of my head. Mm-hmm. What was in the front? I was just thinking about. I was comparing myself to the season before, and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?" And you got to remember, I just started coaching myself, so I started having that little bit of self-doubt. I was like, "Damn, should I, when hired a different coach and all these different things?" So then I was like, "Isaac, just go to what you know." Literally started running a week later. When I say everything changed, I mean it was just, oh, okay. This is what we wanted. This is what we were looking for. So yeah. So it was very eye opening because you got to learn yourself. You know what I mean? Because I have athletes that they want to do certain types of cardio, and I'm like, that's all. As long as it's working, I really don't care. You know what I mean? If it the motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. So whether you've never been coached before or you're coming to me from another coach, I'm not arrogant enough to think, oh, you have to do everything the way I think. If you have something that works, let's keep that. If I'm like, hey, look, you could be better. Let's do this. Then we add that in. But yeah, that was a big one for me. That was a big one for me because I was very, very nervous.
So I'm not really like, you didn't give me nothing to segue to the next topic. So next topic, mindset for going into prep. So you're being fed all this good food, having pre-workout muffins. I just added my pre-workout muffins, bro. Yeah.
Oh man, you really gonna tell me that right now?
Oh yeah. You really? I'm gonna rub them in chocolate. You want me to go grab them too? I'll show you. I'll eat one right now.
That's so bad.
But yeah, so having that switch to kind of say, hey, it's go time for prep. What's your mindset? Because you're the one that just went through that. What was your mindset switch? Or was there a mind flip to say, hey, it's go time?
So there actually wasn't, and this is the reason why. Because I did not dirty bulk. So my first time I dirty bulked. The second time is kind of like a half and half, just because, and this is we don't believe in excuses. It just was, when everything happened with the pandemic, it wasn't so much that I said, oh, hey, I'm not going to do a show. It just kind of changed up the plans and everything like that. So then I was kind of like chilling around 183-ish, because there was a point where I felt like I couldn't gain any more weight, and I was eating. And I was like, well, I just have what I want. So that kind of half dirty bulked, and did that. But now there's a little bit of a difference. So my mindset doesn't change, because like I'll never forget, Tony the GOAT told me this, and I think I should mention on one of our previous episodes. It's very simple. You're in a surplus or you're in a deficit. Mm-hmm. That's really, like, when you break away all the frills, that's really what it is. So for me, there's not so much of a switch that flips. I just kind of get that more laser focus, just because now it's like you kind of know when you're going to start prep. And I'm going to tell you something, that month, that 2 to 4 weeks before you start prep, once you've identified when you're going to start prep, that's probably the hardest from a mind state standpoint, because you can only put but so much muscle on. You can only do but so much changes to your physique from a growth standpoint in there. So you're kind of like just in this quagmire of waiting, because you're like, well, I can't. So that's probably, like, for me, that's probably the toughest part. Prep is now easy because I'm so focused. Like, I know what it is. I'm like, I'm embracing the suffering. I'm embracing the hunger, because I wait for it. It's like, okay, I'm doing something right. I need that pain, that whether it's mental, physical, both, reminds me I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
If I go for too many days without feeling hungry or not feeling that struggle, I'm like, something. I'm not doing something right. So I wouldn't say that that a switch flips. Now, another point on that. So if you've competed before, and something that's called, if you've done a proper reverse diet and you've done a proper growth season, what you're eating really doesn't change. You'll probably have, refeeds more often. So instead of every 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're probably doing at least one a week. And let's be real, a lot of people are doing more than one a week. But, but for the most part, I'll say, prep, and I'm not going to include refeeds. Prep, you got to be 100% on. And we'll call it 99. But, you got to be on. In growth, you want to still be there, but there's more refeeds, different things, just because you're in a surplus. But if you're still eating the same way about 70, 80% of the time, you're good. That's the way, or at least that's the way I look at it. So, so I didn't have to so it's not like I made a big change into what I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? It's just now it's more focused, because before it was just about, okay, be in a surplus, gain muscle. Now it's like, okay, I'm eating to reveal. So I got to make sure that I'm pulling, because, again, where it goes back to, again, coming in, actually 16.2 pounds lighter this time, I don't want to lose too fast.
Yeah.
Because if I lose at that same rate, I'm trying to hold on to as much muscle as possible. Because as we talked about when we were prepping for the show, my stage weight was about 159, 160. So right now, as we stand, I'm only 13 pounds away from that 9 weeks out. So that's, if I just went to that stage weight for what we do, losing 1.25 pounds a week is easy. I'm not trying to look, if you're struggling with that, I'm just going to be honest, shit happens. But for me and what I'm willing to do and all that, that's easy. So where it's tough for me is to say, okay, I know the first 2 weeks I had to script it out. So I told myself I was going to lose 8 to 10 pounds. And then from there, that's where I started making the adjustments.
Yeah.
And so, but to go back to the mindset. So the mindset is, you got to treat them the same, because the end result doesn't change. The end result is to be the best.
Ooh, yes, sir.
So I know, because especially once you've been in our sport for a little bit, you realize prep is just like the final stage. That if you don't respect growth season, you're gonna be in trouble. When you're getting that feedback and they're telling you work on A, B, C, and D, and you just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, and you kind of go off and do your own thing, you in trouble.
Yeah.
I knew what they told me to work on, got all this, my feedback was pretty consistent. And then I doubled down on my strengths, just like we talked about before. One of my strengths, pose. So I actually pose more now, because I said this, I know it's kind of a little bit off topic, but I am still mad that I was denied a Best Poser award. I'm going to win one.
When were you denied?
Well, just in general, because every time there was three of the shows I did had a Best Poser, and I did not win. And I had people, when I came on stage, oh, you didn't win? I was like, no, I didn't win. I was high. Funny enough, the two that I remember, friends of mine, we actually became, pretty good friends. And, you know what I mean? So honestly, that's one of my biggest motivations right now. Because I got like 3 or 4. That's one of them. I want, and because that's a tangible one. You know what I mean? Sometimes beat this, do this. This is tangible. So these first 2 shows I'm in, if I have to sponsor it myself, I will. I want, and I gotta hand myself my damn gift card.
Damn right.
I gotta win one because I'm doubling down. But to go back to it, but that's why the mindset, because I'll have people that when ask me questions and we're talking, you know, and they overcomplicate. Because I'll say to them, I'm like, does the end goal change? So for example, if you're somebody that's an amateur trying to get to pro, you know, that the end goal, you know, what the end goal, but the goal for next show is earn my pro card. If you are somebody that's, you know, hasn't been able to make it out of novice just yet, you know, your goal is to win my novice class, get to and then only be able to do open. You know, so you have to, your goal, if your goal doesn't change, and this is a good thing, like you keep that, you got to have that laser focus on it. Because, for example, Kyrie, your goal for this year is not to win Olympia. That's your end goal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Look, if you qualify, but that's not part of the plan for this year. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's not a limit. It's all about having a smart plan, so that when we get there, we get what we work for. So some people sometimes, if you're struggling to get out of novice, your goal shouldn't be pro just yet. That's one of your stretch goals, but you need to focus on how the fuck am I going to get out of novice? Yeah. That should be your laser focus, because if you do that, everything else falls into place. So what a lot of people do is they cloud all the things that go in between those. And I'm just like, because like, you know, people ask me, oh, I'm like, is the end, what's your end goal? Oh, I want to do this. So how does that it doesn't change. Mm-hmm. Stick to the plan. Listen to your coach. Stick to your plan.
Coach be knowing.
and you'll get to what you want. So I'm a LeBron guy. Ew. And so a lot of people think LeBron's soft and all these different things. But I'm gonna bring up Jordan, because I earned a lot of respect for Jordan watching Save the Last Dance. The Last Dance.
What is that?
that's a early 2000s movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, watching The Last Dance, and you know and Jordan's mindset, and part of why he was so great. And I used to feel bad about, you know, demanding greatness from people and all that other stuff. I saw how he did. I'm like, okay, you know, he's widely considered to GOAT, all these different things. And that's the same thing. I was like, if you have to switch your mindset, you're in trouble. You're going to run into people like you and I that don't have to switch our mindset. It's always that laser focused up. How am I going to win? Yeah. How am I going to win? How am I going to win? The other stuff doesn't matter. Am I doing something that's working towards my goal of winning? You know, now everybody got to take it differently. You know, right now, it's like, get my first pro win, best poser, be the best. So I got 3 main goals as an athlete right now that I can accomplish all this year. That I will accomplish all this year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So everything that I do is about that. And that's what sometimes people get lost. You know, they get lost overthinking, overcomplicating. Oh, do you want to win? Well, if it's not a yes or no, you in trouble. Mm-hmm. You in trouble, because I keep saying you just as easy as you can run into the stage with a bunch of people that don't know. You could also be the only person on the stage that doesn't know, and it will show. I'll be damned if that's ever going to be me or anybody that's with us. Yeah. You know, so I know I kind of went a little bit.
I like that though.
Away from it, like that. But you know, it's true.
Yeah. So like with my mindset, we have the same mindset. We don't turn it on or off, but like how I kind of think of it, it's just like in the growth season, off season, improvement season, whatever you want to call it. I'm like Arnold in the gym, where I might crack a few jokes, you know what I mean? Be more like kind of laid back and, you know, chill out. But when it's go time and that clock starts ticking, in 16 weeks, 15 weeks, I'm Dorian Yates. It's blood and guts. There's no smiling. There's no. It's what's up. What's up? How you doing? Move on. You see what I'm saying? Because work ethic is always going to be there. Like if that changes, you are in trouble. You're just like, oh, off season? Oh yeah, Mickey D's. I'm in the gym, do a couple curls, call it a day, take some selfies, whatever. And then when it's time to cut down, you ain't got nothing to show. Absolutely nothing to show. And you're gonna be the guy in the novice class trying to get out the novice class. I mean, to each their own, but I'm not one to judge. I haven't done anything yet. Let's see. What's next on the agenda? So, here's the question that I told you earlier. I hope you've been pondering it.
Yeah.
So, Isaac used to run track, right? Which college?
Sure. At Pitt.
At Pitt. D1 athlete right here. So, what lessons have you learned from your D1 days that translated well into bodybuilding?
So the biggest one, and I think because I've talked to, so I'll mention a name that anybody's familiar with bodybuilding know. AJ Ellison. He ran track at a high level. I ran track at a high level. One of our teammates, Denisha, she ran track at a high level. And I really, again, as we kind of talked about in prep, it really prepares you for what we do in bodybuilding. Show day is a long day. Big show, small show, still a long day, regardless, because you've trained, not just prep. So you've trained. Now we're at the point where now I can say years I've trained for, this shit. Sometimes it's 20 seconds on stage. Sometimes it's 5 minutes on stage. You don't know. Every show is a little bit different, but you train all that time for that. So it's very similar to track. A long day. Some people only do one event. Some people do 4 events. Some people do more. Some people doing decathlons. Just whatever it is. But long story short, you train for that day. It's a long ass day. You're hot, dehydrated. Mm-hmm. You can't really eat much because whether it doesn't matter whether you're a sprinter or long distance, you don't want stuff sitting on your belly. You're waiting around for a call because and this has nothing to do with on our side the promoter or the people running the track event or the track meet. Yeah, you might think you're going at 10, but it's running behind. So now it's 10:30. Now it's 11. Now it's 11:30. And you have to do what you do to stay warm. Is that physically warmed up? Is that mentally warmed up? Is it both? All these different things. So I can, if I was doing one of those things where you're just describing it, describing a track meet is very similar to describing a bodybuilding show from an athlete standpoint. Shit, we've had teammates and well, I inadvertently did it, but you can do multiple categories. We're not just talking about novice, open, masters, whatever. But some people that cross over do classic and men's physique. Some women do shape and wellness, and shape and bikini or bikini athletic, all these different things. So that was the big thing that prepared me, is doing track meets for so long in my life, and then understanding as you move up the ranks. Because I'll never forget my track coach, because it was true. Because being from Jersey and I was in Pennsylvania, my roommate, shout out to Gerald, that's my old ass, 909W, Sutherland Hall, still tight with my old college roommate Gerald. He was the state champion 800 meter for Pennsylvania, and I'm a hurdler and long jumper, took third in the state, in Jersey's so freaking competitive. Still mad I didn't win it, but that's here or there. But what I'm saying is, there was because he said to us, he's like, look, all of you are either the best in your state or the best in your county. It's not like when you're lining up and there's somebody that was there because they're training for another sport, or just there because their parents said they need something to do. Now you're against all people that are close to your talent level, close to your work ethic. Now it's like, so that's the same thing with bodybuilding. As you move up the ranks, and once you hit the pro ranks, it should be all people that are taking this just as serious as you are. So now it's like the margin for error is slim to none. You know, if you're not on your game, you can lose it and you don't get that chance again. Like, for example, I only got really right now, I technically have one chance to qualify for National Olympia. If I'm not on my A game, I'm not qualified. You know, I mean, there are other routes to go, but I want to qualify the right way. You know, you know what I mean? So that was, I would say, like, that's probably, shit, that might be the biggest lesson. Cause I'll never forget when he said that. Cause I looked around and I was like, there's a couple people from my state. I'll never forget Tamara McGill, you know, she won the 800, funny, keep talking about the 800. She won the 800 at States. And then I remember talking to her because we both said, hey, we're going to pit together, and everything like that. So that was one. And then the other thing is I learned about treating everything like work, because a lot of people don't realize, because you'll say, oh, they shouldn't pay athletes, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you've never been a Division I athlete before. You never seen what's actually required of us. Like, you know, the morning lifts, track practice. And then for us, it's a little bit less, but we did 2-a-day practices. You know, it's not like now football is different because they have film, longer weightlifting. So, but every sport's a little bit different. But, you know, you respect, because remember, I was a scholarship athlete, so they were paying me to be there to play that sport. So now, not only do I have to do that, you know, gotta do your schoolwork, gotta do your homework, you still gotta sleep. Doesn't leave a lot of time for anything else, you know? And so so it puts it in your mind to treat everything like work, you know? And I think that's something that a lot of people don't fully understand, because they talk about how they enjoy working out, or working out is therapy. And I get that, you know, some people it's a release and, you know, these different things, but I say to them, like, look, you can go to a therapist, but guess what? If you don't pay that bill, is the therapist going to still take you? Nope. So you need to work. You show up to work, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
You know, you just have, you have to go to work. Work's not optional. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. You don't get paid, you don't have anything. And that was where the foundation for that philosophy was laid, you know, playing sports. And then the other thing is, at that level, you just start to learn more about the psyche of the athlete, and that we all want to be the best. So wanting to be the best isn't enough. And that was one of those things that hit, because I used to do vision board, but I had all the, I remember I wasn't even a big Jay-Z fan, but I remember I wanted to go to Meet the Champions so bad. And I remember putting up above my bed, it said, Meet the Champions, I will not lose, you know, using that Jay-Z line, and, you know, and everything like that. And I started seeing everybody, I was like, man, all these people are mentally tough. They all want to be the best. That's what I saw. Like, all these people that was doing well, they all wanted to be the best. And they were all willing to work for it. So then I started to realize, I was like, damn, there are more people out there like that. And that put the fear of God in me, but in a good way. Because that let me know I can't slack. Because if I slack, I know, because you know, kind of like how we talk, you know, we got our friends that are part of our brotherhood, you know, shout out to Pete. Like when you said, we think about, I know Pete's working, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's like, damn. So those are, I'll say, like, those are the big lessons that I took from, you know, being, you know, a track athlete over to, because I remember Israel Adesanya, who was he fighting? I can't remember who he was fighting, but he's fighting, you know, with the middleweight belt. And he literally was in the middle of the fight. He said, I'm willing to die for this.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Bloody face. Everything. I'm willing to die for this. And thing is, if you aren't, that's okay. That's fine. But just remember, there's somebody that is, and they're probably going to beat you. Like, to me, I was put in a position where I almost passed out on stage, and I was fully ready to pass out. I was going to go out on my sword, you know? That's what I mean. I'm not trying to die, but if I got to, you know,
that's what it is.
That's like, I really want this that bad. That's why there's a lot of people, Kyrie and I don't got to explain to him when we talk. It's just understood.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that don't get it because they talk all this good game about how, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. The second I see it literally every day. The second there's a hint of adversity, they're ready to tuck their tail and run.
Me in high school.
They're ready to go. Yep. They're ready to go. I'm gonna have a snack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna skip a workout. I'm gonna and then say, oh, I'm back on it. No. The great ones don't do that. The great ones don't do that. And that's why, and it's funny we're talking about that now, because I put it, I don't know if it's still in my story, but I put in my story, we need to stop treating mediocrity like greatness.
Amen. Yes.
That's what social media has done to people. You know, we're sitting there showering all this praise because somebody worked out 3 days in a row. Good. I mean, I'll give you a hand clap. That's a great start. But other than that, I mean, come on, like seriously, why are we making a big deal out of that? You got to celebrate. No,
celebrate the baby steps. Shut up. Get back to work.
I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of credit for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Oh, say that one more time, brother.
I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of credit for doing what you're supposed to do.
Man,
I'll have people. How are you going to be in prep and be proud of yourself for hitting your nutrition for the whole week? How are you going to be proud about that? Explain that to me. That is what you're supposed. You have a plan for a reason.
Yes.
You shouldn't be proud in prep until your ass is on stage. That's it. That is it. And I know that's going to hurt some feelings, but you should know I don't care because it's the truth. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't. You go ask the people that are in the positions that you want to be in. Hello, I'm one of them. How we got there is thinking like that and acting on those thoughts. Don't ask somebody that's never made it to stage. Don't ask somebody that can't quite get out of their way. I'll say it nicely like that. Ask the people that have done. That's who I talk to. That's who I seek counsel with. The people that are actually doing it, not the ones that are talking about it, not the ones that are posting about it. And that's where people mess up because you won't be comfortable. See, y'all gonna get me going, man.
But to piggyback off that, you remember when I won the Texas Cup and I had like the Gucci, the bag and the ring and all that, and like you saw my dad, yo, he's so hype and stuff. And you just look at me, I was supposed to win, bro. You know what I mean? We're not celebrating this. I want to be a multi-time Olympia winner. This is just a stepping stone. You know what I mean? There's a difference. And it goes back, you have to be a different breed. Hey, if you need a high five every time you hit the macros for the day, hey, I'm not the guy. But go high five yourself in the mirror. Congratulations. But people like me, Isaac, everyone on the crew, we got bigger goals, dog. We ain't celebrating hitting macros. We celebrate legacies. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Everybody wants to be Kobe. Rest in peace. Everybody wants to be LeBron. Everybody wants to be Jordan. Everybody wants to be Tom Brady. But they don't even have a tenth of what it takes mentally to do it. Because they're too worried about, oh, give me a credit. Oh, give me attention. Oh, give me this. And sometimes I know some of the team thinks I'm hard on them. But I'm just trying to pull that greatness out of you. Because once you expect greatness, work towards greatness, greatness will become the only thing that is acceptable. You won't want to be around average. You won't want to be around really good. You won't want to be around okay. That's where I am in life. I've said it several times. If you're not trying to be great, get away from me. Just get away. I'm not, because I'm going to be great, and I only want to be around people that's great. And that's not some, oh, well, I'm not, I will help any and everybody. It's proven. I don't sit there and brag about all the helping that I do because I don't help for that reason. I help because I genuinely care. What I'm saying is, on this road to glory, Kyrie hit the word, legacy. The reason why my name and Kyrie's name will be next to each other is because we helped create great legacies. I'll say that again. Our names will forever be linked, I'm rephrasing it, because we helped each other create great legacies.
Each one teach one.
You don't do that by, one of my favorite sayings, by throwing a parade for a hand clap achievement. You just don't get there. And again, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to hear this, and it's going to bother them. What are you going to do? Because you can't tell me that I'm wrong. You can't tell me that I'm lying. Are you going to run? Or are you going to say, you know what? He's right. I'm going to step the fuck up. Step up. Step up. Because, look, most of us on the team, we have not been in this sport very long. Y'all jokers are already tired of seeing us on posters, getting to all the shit that we doing. All from hard work, all from not accepting, let's be okay. One black period there.
Damn. Oh, we 40 minutes deep, brother. See what I say before. We just get to talking and then it just goes. Yo, so we at first it was like, how long we want the podcast to be? Like 25 minutes, 30 minutes? It was like, yeah. First episode, it was like what? Smooth 23 minutes.
Yeah, 26
minutes. And it was like, yeah, that's perfect. And now we have 43 minutes.
We still got one thing to talk about.
Man.
So that's a perfect segue to, you can't out-train a bad diet. So we can make it real simple and just leave it at that and say, okay, and
see you next week.
That's really what it is. But I've done most of the talking, so I'll be the follow-up on this one. Kyrie, what does that statement, what does that mean to you? And what advice or guidance would you give to somebody that's in that trap of thinking that they can outwork a bad diet?
You can't. Shut up. I'm not, as you guys can see, like I like to answer things very concisely. You can't. Period. There's no advice I would give you. It's just like, how do you want to get smarter? You read a book. You seek knowledge. There's no tips and tricks. Just do the work. You see what I'm saying? You can't just eat pizza just because you feel like it and be like, oh, it's still like in my calories. Da 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 da. No, man. Nah, that's not how that shit works. Do the work. Handle your business. That's all I gotta say. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no reason to like make it like overly complicated. It's like, bro, just eat what you know what to eat. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Oh, I don't like chicken and rice. What about beef, turkey, bison? Steak, potatoes? You know what I mean? It's like we all know the answers. There's one quote. It was just like, no one lost any weight reading a diet book.
Oh, say that shit again.
No one lost any weight reading a diet book. You already know the answers. Don't wait for Kyrie Cooper to come on a podcast to tell you that you can't out-train a bad diet. Do you want to talk to him nice? Because I'm not the guy.
So I'll come in with coach speak. but let me say this. I 1,000% agree with Kyrie. So I'm not really going to say anything different. So what I'll say is I'll offer more of an explanation. So here's what happens. I'm going to stick to the lifestyle side, even though it does creep over into the competition side every once in a while. People will think, oh, okay, I'm working out, I'm doing all these different things. So since I'm working out, what I eat, yeah, it matters, but it's not the most important thing. Wrong. If you're trying to gain, the number one thing is nutrition. If you're trying to lose, the number one thing is nutrition. Nutrition is always, 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 I say it one more time, always number one. If you think otherwise, you're going to fail. Point by period. So what I tell people, they'll mess up on their nutrition. So they'll say, oh, I'm going to do extra cardio. So here's why I explain to people, like, okay, in your 30 minutes, there's a lot of people that are pretty decent athletes that struggle to burn 500 calories in 30 minutes. So, and that's just the regular. So we're not talking about anything extra. We're just talking about their regular cardio. So if you go and you go to Burger King, you go somewhere and you overshoot your calories by 5, 6, 7, 800 calories, and you try to get it all back with just a cardio session, you're sadly mistaken, because you probably didn't track what you went over, and you probably don't know how much you really burn when you do cardio. So you're already losing with that mentality. This is why we said you can't out-train a bad diet, because if you don't even know what you're consuming, you don't know how much you need to burn in order to be losing. Ooh, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's about the knowledge. That's why I tell when people are struggling, I'm like, look, man, at the end of the day, it's science. There's something that you're not doing. Because if you're doing the cardio and the workout and eating what you're saying, you wouldn't be gaining weight. Scientifically, you wouldn't. If you weigh 200 pounds and you're eating 1,800 calories a day and working out twice a day, you will lose weight. Can't tell you how you're going to look, but you will lose weight. Mm-hmm. With that, I will bet you any amount of money that you will lose weight. Unless you have now the only caveat is always unless you have some kind of true medical condition. That's the only thing I always have to, put that out there. But that's what it's, stop thinking you can out-train a bad diet. I have competitors sometimes that think they can do that. And I gotta rein them in, but now you can't. You just can't. And you guys, and here's the thing that kills me. You hear top level people, you hear people that have won shows, won pro cards, all these different things telling y'all this, yet you still want to listen to somebody that's going to sell you some damn detox tea, and you can tell that it did not work for them, but it's going to work for you. Let me tell you something. You want to make, because the same people that be making fun of them and laughing at them, the same dummies that believe them. But then you got somebody that looks the part, is telling you, hey, all you got to do is eat real food. Just don't eat too much of it. Eat enough. Hey, you can still do, like, you know what I mean? Not telling you got to cut out a whole section of a certain type of food and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But then you still want to go do that. That's what's wrong. It's that thinking, and that can't out-train a bad diet is the same thing as a quick fix. It's that same mentality where you just don't want to do the work. You don't want to be consistent. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of, now I've learned how to make it not so boring, but it's pretty monotonous. I'll call it monotonous. Someone call it boring. It's pretty monotonous. But hey, that monotony gets me to where I want to be.
Like, I ain't complaining, right? It's just like, I can see it. Hey, it's just like driving down a road that ain't gonna have no billboards, nothing, just a straight shot. Hey, I don't care. I'm going to work anyway. It don't matter.
Put the blinders on and get to it. But no matter what level you are and you're listening to our voice, and if you stuck around, thank you. We appreciate you. Remember, the reason why we're saying this is because we want you to do well. This isn't like some beat you down. Like, no. This is because we're telling you the hard truth. You're looking at right now because you listen to us, so you can't see us. You see the picture of the two of us. Don't tell me we don't look the part.
Not by
you know what I mean? Don't tell me we don't look the part. So, and we're not preaching anything that we don't do or wouldn't do. So that's why it is like, now when we say can't out-train a bad diet, we're not talking about if you had a protein bar that was, you were supposed to have 180 calorie one, you had a 200 calorie one, 20 calories isn't going to kill you. Now, if you were supposed to have one protein bar and you had 3, now we're talking about a different story. That's where we're talking about. You can't out-train it.
Well, talking about protein bars. Hold on. Side note: Have you had the Quest bar? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the
Which one?
chocolate chip. Man, like the basic ones. It's like
Yeah,
really hard, but if you
yeah.
microwave it for like 28 seconds, it actually like the chocolate chip one will actually taste like a chocolate chip cookie. Have you ever
You know,
tried that?
I still so I've heard a couple of good things about I need to try that. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard a couple of good things because like I haven't heard with Built Bars that you can warm them. I've tried frozen before, but that's see I got to add that to the list. See, I
Yeah,
gotta see that's what this is what we try to tell you. Eating right don't gotta be boring.
not at all.
It don't got you don't have to like I posted up what I had before we did this I posted up what I had for that was meal two. I had a taco salad.
Ooh, well, that does sound good.
Hell yeah. And here, so I had 4.7 ounces of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I had 28 grams of Siete chips. I didn't measure the lettuce because I mean, there's no fucking point in doing that.
Yeah.
Lettuce, and then I seasoned it with some of my flavor God. Not gonna give away, the full recipe unless you want to join KFC on demand.
Yeah, subscribe, please.
I mean, now granted, it was disrespectful because by the time it was going, I was still hungry, but it tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
Like and and people think that when you're on prep or you're trying to lose weight, that it's got to all be bland and taste like crap. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Especially in 2021. Like, come on,
Yeah.
dog. You see it on
We have too many
Instagram.
options.
Yeah, way too many fucking options.
We have too many options, man. And like, and I put up a way to make a protein pancake, low carb. You know, like all these different things, like and they're right there for you. There's a lot and because once you stop eating all that bad processed shit, everything else tastes different.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes the way it's supposed to taste. It tastes fresher, it tastes better. So you don't need all that extra salt, all that extra sugar, all that extra whatever else that they putting in the foods. So, but to go back to it, and this is what we're talking about because you create your diet in a way. I shouldn't say diet. Create your nutrition in a way that it's not about enjoying it, but you will enjoy it. So you don't go hardcore. Don't make the mistake I made when I first jumped into prep, and I did not season my ground beef. Didn't use any condiments.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a man. Look, when I say a character building, I didn't know. I was eating 6 ounces of ground beef, like 100 grams of broccoli, and I think it was like 90, 100 grams of brown rice.
God,
Tried a damn Popeyes biscuit.
that's tough. Yeah, don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
God, don't.
Yeah. Then I just started to discover G Hughes and all these different things. So now it makes it so you don't have to feel like you need to try to out train a bad diet because you're chasing taste, you're chasing flavor instead of chasing fuel.
Mm.
And that's kind of what we talked about earlier. So it's a mindset thing.
You know what? We should talk about that next podcast. How to set up like a meal plan.
Right?
I know write that down.
I know it's kind of one of the questions from the team. So one of the things that we will talk about next week, and we may break it into 2 segments. We'll see. Here we like to just let it flow. But basically the difference between a macro-based meal plan and then a meal plan. And then how, what Kyrie was just asking, asking whatever, about, how to set one up. Because actually I'm pretty interested because there's a lot of different ways to do it. I am very much a KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Like, I don't want to have to do a whole bunch of thinking, whole bunch of plotting and planning and all that pinky in the brain type bullshit. Mm-hmm. I just want it nice and simple, and that's the way I coach it. Some people want to be, want to be building out a science guy, and
yeah,
more power to them. But that ain't it, Chief.
Not at all. Too many variables too. Like, who wants to deal with all that?
For real. For real.
All right, brother. I think we should call it an episode. We almost about to hit an hour. No.
Yeah, it's gonna take me all long. It's gonna take us all long to edit it up and get it up. But hey, at least we do it on one take, so not even a bunch of
Literally
just cutting up and everything like that. So real quick, we may timestamp this, or we may post it as our little snippet, just because this is important. So we are looking to move to video. So instead of just hearing us, you'll be able to see us. So we're looking to do that either next week or the week after. So stay tuned for that. And then the other thing is we reached out to our team to get some questions, but even on the YouTube, because right now we are going to get this up on Apple and Spotify, but even on the in the YouTube, you guys have been giving us comments and we appreciate it and feedback. But if there's something that you say, hey man, we want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, let us know. And then the other thing is, we are going to be bringing people onto the show. So, and Kyrie can edit this out if I'm giving up too much information. So basically, instead of doing like an interview, and just have a segment and have 5 or 10 minutes with the person, we're just going to have them come on, and whatever topics we're talking about, they're just going to be the third or the fourth, depending on how many people we bring on at that point. They're just going to be on with us, and we're just going to they're just going to basically, oh God, a lot of people probably don't know, but like Drink Champs, they don't bring somebody on just for an interview. Hey, here you are, you're here, tell us your stories, and we're gonna have a conversation, kind of like us. So stay tuned for that. We got because look, guys, I'm gonna shut up. The season is almost here. Shows already happened. Muscle Contest just happened yesterday. Well, from at time of release, a couple 3 days ago. NFF Texas Shredders coming up. Genesis, we have our team, going to be in there. So we have a lot. It's going to be coming fast and furious. So we have some other things that we're going to present to you guys as well. So again, I just want to make sure we kind of let you guys know these, these few little tidbits. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna let Kyrie do the official sign off. But again, thank you everybody for tuning in and tapping in with us. And I can't wait to talk to you again.
Yeah, I piggyback off that. Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening to banter for an hour. But we actually talked about something I hope you guys got value from, because that's the whole point of this, just to get some type of value, anything, from either of us. If you guys have any questions, or say like, hey, like I actually like got some value from this, refer us to a friend. Like, hey man, I think you might enjoy this. But yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys for listening once again, and we'll catch you guys next Tuesday.